Hey everyone, Coty here, and today we're going to be attempting a Jason Martin abstract painting. Now Jason Martin is actually just somebody I just found out about a couple days ago, and he does a lot of different types of paintings, different abstracts, but the one that we're going to try today is he has this technique where he has like a gradient type painting. Where sometimes it's different colors, or sometimes it's the same color, just different hues of the same color. So like maybe, it's a gray, and then he'll have like a dark gray and a light gray, or he'll do it with blues and all these other colors. He's got a lot of other cool ones, but I'm going to put a picture on screen or a couple pictures of some of the paintings that he's done to give you an idea of what we're going to be trying today. So now that you have an idea of what we're going to do, we're going to attempt it. Now, I watched a video of him making these paintings, and it's very cool. He uses oil paint. We're going to be using acrylic, sadly. But the method at which he goes about it is pretty cool. So what he does is he actually measures out the sections of the surface he's working on. And he measures it out so it's in even sections. And then once he has those even sections, kind of mapped out, then he actually draws a line so he knows where it's going to go, and then he applies the layers of paint in those little sections so they're actually pretty even. And I think that that's very cool to have a structure in an abstract painting. I think that's a very interesting concept and very cool. So we're going to be trying that today, and we're actually just going to be using black and white for our colors today, and kind of see where it gets us. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and use this little scraper as our tool today, and we're going to measure out 6 sections because I kind of looked at this before the video, and it seemed like this actually will come out to be about 6 even sections. So we're going to make our marks here. We're going to put that under that one. We're going to make our next mark and put that under that, and line that up and make our next mark. Okay, and then might be easier if we just kind of go all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and just make these marks all the way down. Okay, so apparently they're not even. So I'm going to go ahead and erase these. No, they're not going to erase. So we're just going to go ahead and bust out our level slash ruler. And we're going to kind of make the marks even based on where they actually are. So it looks like this thing is about just shy of a foot. It's about 10 inches. So what we want is actually, well, maybe we'll do 5 even sections. That way we can cut down on how much we actually need. So let's do 5 even sections. So it looks like 10 is about here, 8 is about here, 6 is about here, 4 is about here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do 5 sections instead of 6, and I was wrong about this being even, so that is my bad. We'll go ahead and make our sections here. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring that up to there. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and connect our lines here. Okay, so now that we have our sections, now we can kind of decide how we're going to approach this. So I'm thinking that we're going to do a little bit of randomness. We're not going to go darkest to lightest per se, but I do think it would be kind of an interesting experiment to go like maybe the darkest here, and then maybe the second darkest, and then third darkest, and then third and fifth or something like that. so that there's a little bit of consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank these based on how dark they are. So I think that maybe we'll do the third one here, 2, and 1. And so when we're doing this painting, what that means is we're going to be doing them. That's how dark it is, how much black paint there is. So how we're going to go about this is we're going to use this cup and we're going to mix our paints in the cup, and then we're going to apply them with the scraper. And for the first layer, since we're doing the darkest, we're just going to leave it black, and we're going to go ahead and put our paint on with just the scraper on the bottom section. So let's go ahead and just kind of do that. Now what he does is kind of interesting. He'll go up to the line and then kind of bring it down so that he gets kind of an even line here. And we're definitely going to need more paint. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more. And he said he actually likes to have these really thick, like really heavy textured sections. So it's okay if we have more paint than we need. It's going to be okay. So we're really going to kind of layer this paint on. We'll add just a little bit more down here. And we'll kind of use this and bring this down. Now I think that using the scraper is kind of a good idea for us because the scraper is going to give us, it allows us to make that straight edge. Okay, so we've got a heavy layer of paint here. Perfect. Now we've got a cool, nice little scrape thing going here. Okay, so now that we've got that, we're going to move on to our next layer. Now it's not going to be as dark as this, so we are going to put our black paint into this cup here, and I don't know if that's enough. I'll add maybe just a little bit more, and let's hope that that's enough. All right, so actually I kind of want to make sure I don't want to ruin this, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay, I think we're probably good on that amount. So now we're going to add a little bit of white, just a little bit, to kind of lighten this up. We'll just put 3 little drops, and we're going to mix that in. Looks pretty cool with the little swirl pattern. So I'm going to kind of scrape that off. I'm going to mix it back in. And we're really going to mix these two kind of colors in until we get that lighter gray. All right, so it looks like we already got our nice creamy gray. I don't know if you guys can see the difference in the black to the gray, but I think it's pretty good. I think we got a good mixture, even though it shows it on the side of the cup. I think for the mixture, we're actually pretty good. So let's go ahead and apply it. So we're going to put it here in this layer here, and we're going to kind of do the same thing. So what I'm thinking is we're going to kind of have to be a little careful with it. Maybe I'll drag this out a little bit across here. And we're going to apply a little bit, and we're going to kind of pull this paint down here. So let's get it to the edge. I'll put some on there. All right. So let's kind of pull that down here. Pull that down. Now, actually, while we're doing this, the tool that he was actually using to make like his little scrapes or whatever, so he applied the paint with like a palette knife, and then he actually goes over it. So what he does is he puts the paint on the painting with like a palette knife or something, and really applies it almost like on an impasto. And then once he has it on the canvas, then he actually goes and scrapes it smooth with a piece of foam. So I don't think it was styrofoam, because styrofoam would fall apart. It was just some kind of white like foam that you would probably get at some kind of store. Yeah, I think you can get like white foam at like craft stores and stuff. I'm not 100%. I think you can. All right, so we got a nice thick layer. Let's go ahead and bring that up to the line. And we've gone over the line a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. gonna be okay. So I'm actually gonna apply a little bit more of this paint here. Okay, so we have a nice thick layer of the almost black. So now we're gonna add a little bit more black just to kind of fill the cup back up, right? And you can't really see it, but it's almost to the same line that it was. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, so now we're actually going to add a little bit more white to kind of lighten it up this time. So instead of 3 drops, we'll add maybe like 5 or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just add that much. A little more than 5. I think it was probably like 7. So now we're going to mix this up. We're going to kind of get this paint that we had on the sides. We're really going to kind of smooth that out and kind of get that mixed in so that we have kind of a medium gray. And it looks pretty good. I like mixing the paint. It does feel pretty good. To be honest with you guys, I don't normally sit here and mix paints to make other colors, but I know a lot of professional artists that do, and maybe it's something that I could consider getting into, especially for doing other styles of paint. All right, so we've got it here. Now let's go ahead and apply it. Ooh, that's a nice consistent. You can kind of see the reflection a little bit, but compared to the other layer, you can definitely see the difference in the darkness. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of smooth that out, and we're gonna kind of run this down. Okay, cool. So we're kind of getting this going up to the line. All right, good. Cool. And we'll bring it down to the other layer. Ooh, right next to that other layer, it actually looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can see the difference in the darkness between them. Okay, well, we still have quite a bit of paint left over. I think we have enough to do another layer. So let's go ahead and move into our next layer, which is going to be even lighter. So without even adding any more black, we're actually just going to add a little bit more white to kind of lighten it up and see if we can get it a little bit lighter. So I've got the white paint in there, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to mix that bad boy in there, and you can kind of already see it lightening up. But I want to kind of get some of this paint up here on the sides, really kind of get those down in there and get those mixed in. And just kind of bring these down, mix that in. We'll scrape it off to kind of get it mixed back in there. Mix it in, and let's take a look. It is definitely lighter than the other one. So that's exactly what we were hoping for. So let's go ahead and go with it. Yeah, you can see that it's a nice smooth gray. This paint is actually mixing really, really well. So we're going to pull that along. And we're going to kind of bring it up to the edges. And there's quite a bit of paint on there. So we're going to pull a little bit more. And I think we're just going to kind of use what we got here. I kind of don't want to add any more paint. I don't want to add any more paint to that. Not any more of the black paint, because we have plenty in here, I think. So you can kind of see, just looking at it, that there is definitely some differences. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, look at that. You can see those differences. That's nice. Actually, I really like that. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and punch out our last layer here. So we're going to add a little bit more white. So we're going to lighten it up, get it nice and light gray here. Add a decent amount of white to really kind of amp it up. Get that mixed in. Kind of stir that in. Pull up some of the colors from the top. Mix those back in. Really give them a good stir. We'll scrape it to kind of push it back down. Mix in those whites. Give it a good stir. and let's take a look. Is it lighter? It is. Yeah, I think I'm going to go just a little bit lighter just to kind of really show the difference in the colors. So just a little bit more of the white to lighten it up, to really kind of make it really stand out, to show that difference in the gradients. Give it a nice stir, scrape it back down, get some of this loose white paint in there, stir it in there. Okay, there we go. We got a nice light gray. Perfect. So let's go ahead and apply our final layer of paint here and see what we can do with it. Oh no! Kind of dipped it into the other layer on accident. That's okay. You can't really tell, and I think once it's smoothed out, you won't be able to tell. Okay, so we're good. That's it. That's kind of the whole thing there. So now what we have to do, and this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think. Now what we have to do is we have to scrape the layers just lightly to kind of smooth them out. But the problem is that this little thing is too big, and the one I was just using is too small. So I don't know if I have like a credit card or something. You know, I should have, again, probably had this already planned out, but I thought that the scraper was big enough. Okay, so I looked around. I could not find any foam like that, like he has. So we're just going to use this scraper and hope that it turns out. Now, he kind of wets it down, I think, just to kind of get it to slide over the painting. So I'm wetting this down with a spray bottle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lightly pull this scraper across the painting and hope that it doesn't ruin it. So we're going to go ahead and line this up with all three. And we're just going to kind of gently pull it through. And I'm barely just putting any pressure on it, just to kind of... Okay. So it actually left a little bit of the layer kind of, I don't know, weirdness on the bottom, which is fine. I'm going to clean this off. Just wipe this off. I keep meaning to get paper towels and I don't. All right, so now we'll kind of go over the top. And I'm barely just kind of dragging it over these layers. And that's it. So that is the whole thing. I'm going to smooth this one out just a little bit. I'm going to flip this over. Just kind of... just so it kind of lines in with some of these other layers here. Yeah, that's better. All right, now I'll put that in water. And that's it. That is the whole painting, guys. It's just different shades of colors. And the guy's work, I'll put a link to his work somehow in the description area so you can see it. It's very cool, very interesting. Maybe I'll link to the video that I saw so that you can kind of see the process yourself. But, you know, he makes these large paintings and it's as simple as it looks. It's very calming to look at. It's very cool. So we're going to, I guess I cut my glove. We're going to go ahead and take the tape off and kind of see what it looks like finished. All right, now that the gloves are off, let's take a look, guys. So this is the final piece. And honestly, as simple as it is, I kind of like it. I think it's very cool, very calming to look at. You can see the difference between that one and that one. They're subtle, but you can see it. And the lighting in here may not really help, but you can kind of see that one, this layer right here, is darker than that one, and that one is darker than that one. So you can kind of see the progression here. So overall, I think it's kind of a success, and I kind of like it. Like I said, I'll link to the video that I watched. So if you want to see maybe more on how to do this, or just kind of, just to kind of look at something else by another artist, I'll go ahead and link to that in the description area below. But that's it for the video, guys. Just fun trying to do something else and do a little different and show you guys a new technique. But that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. God bless. And see you then. Bye, guys.